Okay, now. All right.
You just start
This
talking.
is the audience. That's the audience right there. All right. I gotta get situated. There we go. All right. So let's start with Leonardo da Vinci. So Leonardo da Vinci was a man, very famous man. You probably know of him. But he started in a little known town called Venezia, Italy, and he was never taught in school. So the only thing that he had going for him was the skill of cultivating curiosity. He was a very curious person. He would look at the sky and watch how birds flew and wondered how they flew. That led to the flying machine. And he even dissected human bodies he stole from a morgue, which I do not think is very legal. So anyways, he had a notebook that he would take everywhere, and he would jot down his ideas a lot of the time. But what made him a great person and have a great life was that he was curious and he cultivated curiosity. Because if he didn't, then he would just be a small town farmer. He'd just be a small town farmer in the middle of little Venezia, Italy, instead of this great artist that we all know and love. So the main point that I want to talk about today is that curiosity can help develop new skills, and it can help us deal with the ever-changing world and what happens with it. So my credibility behind this is that I have personally been guided by curiosity, and I'm a very curious person myself, and it's one of my principles. And it changed my life and my perspective, and it widened my perspective. All right, so let's start with curiosity can make you a better learner. So curiosity can lead to better motivation, and as you would want to do the things that you're curious about. For example, whether it be cooking, you'd want to learn how to cook. And a 2014 study by Neuron discovered that people who were curious about a subject retained the information better and could call it back. And they also learned at an enhanced rate. And it also allowed for the memory center in your brain to be activated when you're curious, because it activates the rewards pathway within your brain. So when you pick up a hobby, I talked about this a little bit earlier, but when you pick up a hobby, whether it be cooking, whether it be gardening, the hours seem to go by quickly. You probably experienced the effect that this study found, and you tend to remember all of the information through it. So learning can also widen our perspective. It can teach us many things. So curiosity can lead you to question assumptions. It can lead you to view and explore different viewpoints that would, otherwise make you shut down and close off from the outside world and outside opinions. I know nowadays it's very touchy on those subjects. So there was a 2013 study where it showed that people who were curious and they actively used the skill of curiosity were less defensive when they were confronted with a different viewpoint. They were more tolerable to others who didn't share their same view. And it allowed for them to have, a widened horizon, widened viewpoint. So, and this derives from curiosity being questioning the normal, considering new ideas, and allowing you to have better understanding of others. So it instills more empathy in somebody. So now curiosity isn't just widening our perspective to others, but it can help us understand deeply our own life and appreciate it more. So some ways that curiosity can create a more meaningful life is that it allows for growth, lifelong growth, new passions, exploration in new topics, and a positive outlook on your life, because you feel that you are accomplishing something, and that's typically what our brain is wired for. So, and all of this change and all of this meaning in your life can start just from one question. One question leads into another and another and another. For example, like somebody could change their major by just reading a book. It's unfounded how unpredictable curiosity can be, but it can lead you to a better life. So furthermore, it can allow you to learn a new hobby. I know I talk about this a lot, cooking and stuff like that. If you want to cook a good meal, if you want to be healthy, and you delve deep into it. Personally, I've been wanting to be a chef for a little bit. So it can also lead to new friendships out of the curiosity of wanting to talk to the person on the left of you at a coffee shop. And then it also opens the door. Curiosity opens the door that otherwise would have been closed with complacency. So I talked about this a little bit, but I personally been interested in different topics that curiosity led me to, and it led to me having a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Curiosity is more than just personality, as we learn. So curiosity, in conclusion, are skills anyone can build. It's not just a personality trait. It makes you a better learner, broadens your perspective, and leads to a more meaningful life. So I'm going to lead this back to Da Vinci. If Da Vinci never asked the question of why do birds fly and how do they fly, why do rivers run, and how does the human body work, many great things would have not come from his inventions. So it's to ask one question. I'm going to leave you with this. Ask one question and everything else will follow. So thank you very much.